Good morning, dear friends. Myself, Dr. C.S. Iyer. So, we start the second chapter, chemical equilibria. In this chapter, till now, we see this Gibbs free energy change, Gibbs free energy change in chemical reaction in various form: molar Gibbs free energy, standard molar Gibbs free energy. So, this is the standard molar Gibbs free energy change. We have this equation, and this equation is used for solving the examples where this standard Gibbs free energy change is calculated by using standard enthalpy change of formation minus T temperature, standard entropy of change of formation. Again, on the basis of this delta G value, whether it is negative or positive, we have these exergonic reactions, endogonic reaction, we have these examples. So we solve this example based on these formulas. Second example. Again we start this actual topic, that is chemical equilibrium. So in this chemical equilibrium reaction, this concentration of reactant and concentration of products are fixed. Concentrations are fixed, unchanged, though this reaction is dynamic, where this product concentration and reactant concentration, after equilibrium, this concentration become unchanged. Whatever is the change in product, similar changes happen in reactant, and thus both proportions are constant, both concentrations are constant at equilibrium condition. So this is the equilibrium condition. So this is a graphical representation to explain chemical equilibrium. So we consider this law of mass action based on concentration of substitute as a starting material. This A and B are the reactant, that is starting material. Again we have this law of chemical equilibrium, which is based on again law of mass action. Forward and backward reactions are equal at equilibrium condition. Just now we see forward and backward reactions are equal, and thus this concentration of product and reactants are the same. So by equating these two, we arrive this new constant that is called as a chemical equilibrium. And this chemical equilibrium is equal to multiplication of concentration of product raised to their mole fraction divided by multiplication of concentration of reactant raised to their particular number, that is number of moles. So in thermodynamical definition, this equilibrium constant involves activity rather than concentration. So we consider this activity of each component when it is in pure form or liquid or solid. At the time activity is equal to 1. When we have mixture, ideal solution, at that time this activity depends upon concentration terms. So this activity A depends on concentration term. We have the mixture of gases, at that time this activity depends upon partial pressure. So there are two types of equilibria: homogeneous equilibria, heterogeneous equilibria, having only one phase, that is liquid phase, in different phases. For example, here two are solid in state, these two are gases in state. So they are having different phases, so heterogeneous. So today lecture we start this perfect gas equilibrium. So when we have this reactant A is converted into B, both are in gaseous state, and this A and B are the perfect, or we call it as a ideal gas. At that time this Gibbs free energy change is equal to Gibbs free energy of product minus Gibbs free energy of reactant, where Gb and Ga are the Gibbs free energy of gases in mixture. So this Gibbs free energy of A is calculated by using formula standard Gibbs free energy of A plus RT ln of Pa. What is Pa? It is a partial pressure of A in the mixture, reaction mixture A plus B. Similar way we have this Gibbs free energy of B, standard Gibbs free energy of B plus RT ln of partial pressure of B, where this standard Gibbs free energy change for A and B are standard Gibbs free energy change G naught A, standard molar free energy change of gases A and B. So Putting this value G and GB in above equation, we have this equation, open the bracket, signs are changed, rearrange this equation where PA, PB are the partial pressure of gases A and B. So when we rearrange this, collect the standard Gibbs energy change in one bracket, remaining part in. So we have this change, standard Gibbs energy of B minus standard Gibbs energy of A, that is product minus reactant, that is a delta G node. In this case this RT ln is common. What is remaining? PB minus PA. So we write this PB minus PA in logarithm form as a ln of PB upon PA. So for this fraction PB upon PA, we write the new term, that is Q, and we have this equation. What is this Q? Q is the reaction quotient, is equal with partial pressure of product upon partial pressure of reactant. So when you consider this reaction quotient Q for general reaction, A plus B gives C plus D in their mole fractions. So we write this Q is a concentrations of product, multiplication of concentration of product upon multiplication of concentration of reactant raised to their proper power. If the values of reactant and products are equilibrium values, when this reaction attained equilibrium, at that time this Q is equal to K, that is value of reaction quotient is equal with equilibrium constant. By comparing the value of Q and K, it is possible to decide the direction of the reaction, either reaction goes in forward direction or reverse direction. So Q can be measure the progress of reaction. For example, if Q is less than K, when it is less than K, when this concentration, multiplication of concentration of products are less than equilibrium concentration. So in this case, this product concentration must be increases. At that time, reaction must goes in forward direction, and thus when this rate of forward reaction is more than rate of reverse reaction, at that time reaction attain that equilibrium. So same we have mentioned here, when Q is less than K, the forward reaction must occur to a greater extent than the reverse reaction to attain equilibrium. Another way, when Q is greater than K, when it is greater than K, when product concentration is more, reactant concentration is less than equilibrium concentration. So at that time the reaction must goes in reverse direction. This reactant is converted into this product is converted into reactant. At that time it attain equilibrium. So same here mention, the reverse reaction must occur to a greater extent than the forward reaction to attain equilibrium. So equilibrium constant in gas phase. Consider this synthesis of ammonia by Haber process. Nitrogen gas combined with hydrogen gas to form ammonia gas. All are in gaseous form. The equilibrium constant can be expressed in terms of Kc or Kp. So when this nitrogen, hydrogen and ammonia are expressed in concentration term, that is moles per liter, at that time this equilibrium constant is Kc, C is concentration, is equal with concentration of product raised to its mole fraction, this mole 2, so it rises by 2, upon there is only one product, so it is a concentration of product, that is ammonia, concentration raised to 2, upon multiplication of concentration of reactant. First reactant is nitrogen, concentration of nitrogen, concentration of hydrogen raised to this mole 3 mole, so cube. So this is the equation for equilibrium constant when we consider reactant and products are in concentration form. When we measure this partial pressure of nitrogen, hydrogen, ammonia, when we have this gases expressed in its partial pressure, that is bar, at that time this equilibrium constant is called as Kp. P is a partial pressure or pressure term. At that time this equation become concentration of, not concentration, it is a partial pressure of ammonia raised to 2 upon partial pressure of nitrogen into partial pressure of hydrogen raised to power 3. So this is the equation in the form of partial pressure. So when we given the concentration term, at that time we use such type of equation. If we given the partial pressure, at that time we use this equation for calculation of equilibrium constant. So consider this example. Write the equilibrium constant for the following reactions. First reaction, second, third reaction. See, first reaction, I2 combined with hydrogen to form HI. Iodine gas, hydrogen gas and HI gas. For this reaction, we directly write Kp value. This Kp value is concentration. So here we consider a Kp for pressure term. So here not we use concentration. Instead of concentration, we use partial pressure of HI raised to power 2 upon, there are two reactants, partial pressure of hydrogen, partial pressure of iodine. Second reaction, KClO3 present in solid state, decomposed to form KCl solid plus oxygen gas. So in this case, when we apply this Kp equilibrium constant, at that time this partial pressure of product side we have 2, partial pressure of oxygen into partial pressure, see here is not partial pressure, this is the solid. So we directly write this solid KCl upon reactant is again in solid form. So we write KClO3 in solid form. This solid do not create partial pressure. So we don't write P. So this Kp value depends upon partial pressure. There is only one partial pressure. So this Kp is equal to partial pressure of oxygen gas raised to power 3 by 2. See the third equation, 2 calcium carbide oxidize combined with oxygen at equilibrium to form calcium carbonate and carbon dioxide. So when we consider this Kp value, so here product side calcium carbonate is solid, so we directly take calcium carbonate solid raised to power 2. This carbon dioxide in gaseous form, so we have this partial pressure of carbon dioxide power 2 upon reactant side, again we have calcium carbide in solid state, this oxygen in gaseous form, so we write partial pressure of oxygen raised to power 5. We neglect this solid term, so this Kp value depends upon partial pressure of carbon dioxide raised to power 2 upon partial pressure of oxygen raised to power 5. So this is the final equation. So solve these examples. The following results were collected for 2 experiments involving reaction at 600 degrees centigrade between gaseous sulfur dioxide and oxygen to form a gaseous sulfur trioxide. So SO2 combined with O2 to form SO3. So these are the 2 experiments. In first experiment, initial concentrations are given. So write this node, initial concentration, and these are the equilibrium concentration. Second experiment, we also have this initial concentration and equilibrium concentration. What is the actual question? Question is show that equilibrium constant is same in both the experiment. So the balance equation for this reaction, the SO2 is converted into SO3 by addition of oxygen or oxidation. So when we balance this equation, we require 2 mole of SO2 gas plus O2 gas. At equilibrium it forms 2 moles of SO3 sulfur trioxide gas. When we apply this equilibrium constant K, at that time this K is equal to concentration of sulfur dioxide raised to power 2 upon concentration of sulfur dioxide raised to power 2 and concentration of oxygen. So in example they give the concentration, molar concentrations. So for experiment number 1, this K value, K1 value is calculated by using this formula. This formula we write for equilibrium state of this reaction. So in this case we consider all this concentration at equilibrium state of reaction. So these initial concentrations are not useful for calculation, only equilibrium concentrations are used to calculate K equilibrium constant. So we put the equilibrium values of experiment 1 in this equation. So SO3 concentration is 3.5 moles raised to power 2. Then we substitute SO upon SO2 concentration is 1.5 raised to power 2. Concentration of oxygen is 1.25. So use the calculator and solve this reaction calculation, and final answer is 4.36. Similar way, for experiment number 2, these equilibrium concentrations are used for calculation of equilibrium constant. For experiment number 2, again this K1 value is SO3 is 0.26 square, SO2 is 0.59 square, oxygen concentration is 0.45. So calculation after using calculator or we solve by any means, we get the value 4.32. See, what is our question? Show that the equilibrium constant is same in both the experiment. So these values are nearly matching, not same but nearly matching. This difference of 0.04 is the experimental error. See, student, we supply the same chemical in laboratory during the experiment, then different student get the different readings for titrations. So it is due to experimental error. So in this case also, these experimental values are showing error in calculation. Theoretically we say rate of forward reaction is equal to rate of reverse reaction. At that time both the rates must be equal. See, in first experiment these initial concentrations are larger. This initial concentration of reactants are larger, which is goes in decreasing in equilibrium state. At the same time this product concentration is increases in experiment number 1. So in experiment number 1 reactant concentration decreases, product concentration increases, so this reaction is forward reaction. In experiment number 2, see, this SO2 and O2 are the reactant, its concentrations are increases 0.5 to 0.59, to 0.045 moles, and this concentration of product is decreases. So what is this? This concentration of product decrease and concentration of reactant increases. So this is the reverse reaction. This experiment number 2 is a reverse reaction in which SO3 is converted into product. So this K1 is a rate constant for forward reaction. This another K1 for experiment number 2 is a rate constant for reverse reaction. And we know theoretically at equilibrium forward and reverse reactions are equal. This rate of forward and reverse reactions are equal. So these rates are equal. Due to experimental error we have this error in values. See the next example. Calculate the equilibrium constant at 1395 Kelvin for the following. So here two reactions are given. Water molecule in gaseous phase or vapor phase gives hydrogen and oxygen gas. This carbon dioxide in gaseous form is converted into carbon monoxide and oxygen. For first reaction this K1 value is given 2.1 into 10 raised to minus 13. For second reaction this K2 value is given 1.4 into 10 raised to minus 12. So we have to calculate the equilibrium constant. See, so in this case this K1 and K2